Hey, praises and cheers, La Familia. Praises and cheers, praises and cheers, praises and cheers. Praises and cheers, Ohana. Praises and cheers, Ubuntu. So, I want to talk real quick about white magic. This might be a little series of white magic talk. But one key note that I want everybody to know about white magic is that white magic has pretty much been the ruler of the earthly realm for the last at least 6 to 25,000 years, but in actuality a lot longer. But it's been a weaning to the rule of it, and then we're weaning away from the white magic to the black magic. All right. So as we know about the three ether and the smart circle, as we've weaned into the white magic, the three ether culture, I want you to take a moment with me and think about if we were only able to use our electricity, like all of the electronic appliances that we have in our reality, if we were only able to use that based in when the moon is out at nighttime, that's the only time we're able to use it. Think about that reality for a second. Now, the moon gets full and it gets new, and so sometimes we're able to use it more throughout the night. Sometimes we're able to use it less throughout the night. All right. Now, that's practically that reality as we merge our minds into that parallel reality. That reality is literally a reflection, a white magic reflection, a mirror reflection of the white magic that's going on in this reality, where we are only able to tap into our energy bodies as a collective, as a spell-casted earth, and I speak in a sense of I'm not limiting myself because I know that I am a multidimensional being. I've broken that spell in my boundaries of self-identity. And so as I speaking for a reflection for the earth plane, I'm speaking on the Heka, the magic that has been casted upon, the spells that have been casted upon that do not allow us to go through Duat and the halls of Amenti to actually get ourselves deeper into the black magic and the black Heka. So that is a reflection of this reality, because pretty much that moonlight that is reflected from the non-ether that is being projected from the sun, that has rays around the sun that actually gives us our light, because we know that all light comes from darkness. And so the sun being the source of that light gives the moon its reflective energy, refractive energy, and then we get that little bitty amount of energy that comes from the moon. So we have these lunar panels, and that's why we are in a lunarian culture. So our lunarian culture refracts and mirrors that analogy of what if reality was only able to use their electricity and their magnetism based on where the moon is at, and how much the moon is actually bringing those that light that those lunar panels can take and absorb and give us our electronic appliance. So that is a reflection of us being type 0 civilization culture, not even a type 1, a full type 1 civilization culture, because we're not even harnessing the energy of the earth and the sun yet, and all that its potential it has. I mean, truly the earth is a Dantian. It's a elixir field of the sun. The sun is more of the shin that leads us to the Tao. So that this earth is more of this elixir field, this Dantian, that is truly still the shin that leads us to the Tao, the darkness or the portal that leads us to the cosmos and such. And so when we're looking at the potential of humanity to have utilization, effective and efficient and sufficient amounts of energy usage, we are looking at where we're at right now, and we're only pretty much able, we have that whole day spectrum of direct sunlight that can go into solar panels, but we're not using them, i.e. we're not using this solar panel. We're not using our vessels as solar panels. We're using our vessels as lunar panels based in personality. Everything's based in deception, because the moon has times where it's always shifting. It's never constant like the sun. The sun is constantly giving out that non-ether energy. The moon is only giving out 3 ether energy at a time regardless. And so it goes from zero it goes from 0 to 3 as it goes to new moon to full moon, 3 ether. And so it's always deceptive. It's always waning and waxing. And it has time, just like our personalities here on Earth, has time to deceive people. And it's using time, right? How time is very linear here. And space, how space is very limited here. It's using time and space to deceive people into thinking that they don't have that much potential of energy. But in actuality, to tap into the sun and the solar panels is to tap into that amount of energy that we could be utilizing every single day. Like the amount of solar energy, like pretty much Texas alone can charge up the whole. If Texas alone was filled with solar panels, it would be able to charge up the whole planet, the whole existence. If Texas alone was just filled with solar panels, and there's plenty of places that are as big as Texas that that could be done, where it's just take one little aspect of Earth and fill it up with solar panels, and then the whole plane has free energy, endless free energy. The whole planet has endless free energy. And so that's the potential. And why not go further? Why not have the whole world full of solar panels? We're only inhabiting 5% of the planet with cities, so why not put solar panels all around the cities and inhabit 7% and have all of the cities just filled with clean solar electricity? You know what I mean? The solar is the portal to the scalar. So yeah, until we get to harnessing, having like stellar panels and scalar panels and such, like we have to tap into the solar energy, and the nine is the solar. So as soon as we tap into the 9 mind that can tap into the darkness of the sun, then we can tap into the 9 to the 9th power, which is the stellar, and then 9 to the 99th power, which is the scalar. So solar, stellar, scalar is a very simple. You can even interchange them as well in some type of sense, but we're not going to go into that right now. But the basis of it is that you need to know what white magic is doing. It's keeping you in that lunarian, ruled by lunars. You know what I mean? You look at the currency exchange and the celestial dragons. Dragons is a double-edged sword. It can be, there's good dragons and there's bad dragons and such, or disagreeable dragons and agreeable dragons. The disagreeable dragons are the ones that say, hey, half of the world's money is going to be ruled by 8 Caucasian men, Makazu men, Kakazu men. And like, look it up right now. The 8 biggest billionaires have half of the economy is governed by these 8 very feminine, very unhealthy, very pale, lunar people, lunars. And the fact that they don't push their economy, like they can push their economy into all these different places. The fact that they don't push their economy into more Solarian based economy is practically the fact that they are loony. They're out of tune with the abundance of energy in nature, and they are casting the spells, whether it's them individually or them just, as a pawn in it, casting the spells that we only get to use our electricity at nighttime. And that is a reflection of how we meditate with the solar, how we actually are able to rest. Because what do we do at nighttime? We actually go to sleep at nighttime. We actually tap into the darkness. Again, that solar light is a reflection of the white light, the white magic, that black magic that you can get from the sun. The black dot inside of the sun. Remember, the sun is black. It just has white rings because it's so powerful. It's a combustion of ether that allows light to be projected. What you have is, that's the only time that we are tapping into the darkness, instead of tapping into it all day long, all month long. You know what I mean? Not just tapping into it with a scarcity of the month, like half the month, and only tapping into it half of the day. You know what I mean? So if you take out half the month and half the day, what are you left with? You're left with only, you know what I mean, a fraction of energy that you could be utilizing. Instead, we could be, as individuals and as tribes, because the collective earth just is what it is right now. It is ascending into its higher realms, but it's going to take a long time in the time space. The time is speeding up, yes, for Earth, but as an individual, you want to be able to go onto the spacecrafts and walk through the stargates that actually allow you to go into realms where the 9 ether is more accepted and appreciated, i.e., where the soul, right? The crown soul, the sun, so SOL, and SOUL is appreciated, practically where you're tapping into the upper chakras, the heart chakra, the throat chakra, and the ajna chakra, right? You're tapping into where the 4th, 5th, and the 6th dimensions are at. The 4th, the 5th, and the 6th dimensions are at, where you're able to utilize the darkness that comes from the sight, the darkness that comes from the sound, and the darkness that comes from the waves, the aura, right? The 90% of our physical body that is unseen, that is unmaterial by the 5 senses. And so that heart space, that throat space, that sound space, that yoni space, that vajra space, and our pineal space, right, are all components of tapping into the darkness that 9 ether is wanting us to, be able to, go into that realm. It's a realm of existence. It's a version of Earth that doesn't look like Earth, because our 5 senses have been casted upon to only see with a certain bandwidth of energy. So we don't see the energy coming off the ground. We don't see the energy coming off the trees. We don't see the energy coming off of the sun. We don't see the photons coming off, or energy. I wouldn't want to even call them photons at this point. But they are photons in that dialect. We don't see the energy coming off the clouds. We don't see the energy coming off the animals. We don't see energy even coming off of the metals and the colors and the sounds. And so with the soul version of Earth, also called the Hathor version of Earth, or the Hathor version of Bastet, and Hika magic, right? Our ancient Kemetic versions, or Atlantean Lemurian versions, that connect us to that stellar and scalar galactic wave particle base realities, that connect us to all of the genes that have been in the mutative process of even to where we got this language right now and this site right now. We are able to not only go to the soul density and gravity and harmony, but we can go to the oversoul, right? The 7th, the 8th, and the 9th dimension. You know, the oversoul is where we're really trying to connect to, because that's the realm of gravity and density that will connect us to our Christ self, which is the 10th, the 11th, and the 12th dimension, right? Where not only are we utilizing all of our bodies, and we're fully tapped into in the 12th dimension, full unity, no matter what, like everything's practically scalarized right there. Like when you're tapping into the soul, you're tapping into the soul, the solar. When you're tapping into the oversoul, you're tapping into the stellar. And then we're tapping into the Christ, the avatar based density and reality, and gravity. You're tapping into the scalar. That scalar body, it has a scalar earth, has a, you know, and it has this correlation to the Kemetic goddesses. You have the Hathor that provides you to the Aset, or what is known as Isis, the illuminated one, that will provide you to the Neith, the weaver of, or the scalar weaver of the Christ realities. And then you can go above that to the Nunet, to the plane of water. I mean, to the plane of water, which is how light and sound both move in those waves and such. And so you have the potential to tap into the Hika magic, the black magic, rather than get lost in the spells of the white magic. And you do that, and it comes with more energy, less gravity, less density, and a solar mind, a 9 mind, which will get you to the 99th mind, 9 to the 9th power of 9 mind, 999 mind. Eventually, you know, once you can fathom the solar, you can fathom the stellar, and then you can fathom the scalar, which will pretty much bring you to type 3, 4, 5, 6 base civilizations, and how those function in different densities, in different universes that are based in different densities, rather than our 3D being based in a density that gravity is always pulling us down. You can even just think about the ocean and the waters, how the density is there, where you do sink slowly, you know, but it's not like as fast as you do drop, you know, when you're in a density of air. And the density of the ocean, you drop a lot slower. So that's just one analogy that you can see. And the ocean is where the astral plane is. It's really where your heart is supposed to be at. You know what I mean? Because if you look at the darkness of the sky. You'll also see, at nighttime, you'll also see the darkness of the ocean. So the ocean is actually dark. It's not blue, it's black. It's black water because it's reflecting the cosmic black water of the sky. Now, again, the light spectrum that comes from our sun allows us to get caught up in the lights, caught up in the white magic. And so we want to break the spell of the white magic. And this was the first video about breaking the spell of the white magic and breaking the spell of, being caught up in the lights. And, this is a cultural thing because pretty much your energy creates your culture. Type 1 civilization has a type 1 culture. You know what I mean? It's really simple. How you cultivate energy with the endless free energy is how you culture the energy, how you grow the energy. Culture, cultivate, they're the same words. That word cult has a negative connotation on it. It sounds bad because they don't want you to grow. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of spells that's casted upon things being dark. And where does all seeds grow? In the ground, in the darkness? You know what I mean? Where do all suns create from? In their dark womb. They're surrounded by the cosmic darkness. So, it's just one of those things that you have to really look at it from a very contemplative space inside the mind, open up new neurological pathways, get into the bioregenesis, and make sure that your neuroplasticity is online and active so that you can contemplate on how deep the spells go and see that, the neuromelanin, the inner darkness is what we're looking to get deeper into so that we can cultivate more space for that solar energy to come into our neuromelanin, fill us up, and just be tapped into the free energy. It really is just free, endless energy, and it's free, but obviously with emotional lunacy, lunarian culture, it always is taxing because it's not enough. So everything has to be taxed because now it's your desires that are making you utilize certain things rather than being into a nature. Everything is very much just like it's minimal, it's abundant, it's prosperous. Nature feels the love of it. There needs to be no tax on anything. But with the lunarian culture, everything has a tax on it. Everything feels like you're not getting reciprocal value for the work that you've actually put in. And think about it, eight men control half the money on earth. So it's like, and obviously those 8 men are just pawns for the families that are harvesting the energy from earth. Because obviously I can also say that the moon isn't even reflecting the sun's light. The moon has its own eminence of sound and light that is pulling the loose energy from the earth and sending it to a different dimension. It's sending it to other spacecrafts and such. It's a harvesting planet. All the houses and cars that we utilize for our entertainment here are all flat. They cut off the aura field and they loose from the aura field. That's why they want you in these cars and these houses as much as possible so they can loose your aura field as much as possible, because the aura that you're not utilizing, they get to utilize, and they get to send it to a place in the universe where it can be utilized, or a different universe where they can utilize there. And so you just want to also just know, even if we're talking about the moon not even being a reflection of the sun, it's still only giving off a certain amount of energy that we can use with our lunar panels, and we're pretty much just sleeping at that time because we didn't use any of the sun's energy to go into the sun's dark energy. We didn't use any of the sun's dark energy to go into our inner darkness, throughout the day and charge up and such, And that's why, the spell is to stay inside as much as possible rather than we are actually meant to be outside, have our aura field as free as possible outside, for 90% of the day and night, 90% of the day and night, and be able to have so much intelligence that we create whenever we are inside of the house for that 10%, that we are in a structure that promotes our aura field's growth. There is a vortex mathematics of our aura field that it needs to have. There are certain metals that help our aura field grow more and more. So whenever we are inside, it should be not a blockage of our aura field growing more and more, and that way we can be constantly ascending from the 3rd dimension to the 12th dimension, and all of our angelic states. We are an angelic race that has a casted spell upon us, white magic spell of Leviathan or Metatron upon us that just keeps us in a terrestrial state rather than a celestial state where all the angels and the ETs have their type of intelligent thinking, and they are able to transcend their bodies, their carbon-based bodies, into etheric-based bodies, sometimes at will, and you know what I mean, and all the way to a hydroplasma-based body, where there is no even carbon at all. So that's the possibilities, all the way until fully just a full light body where it's beyond plasma, and it's just the rays of light, that's in the 13th, 14th, and 15th dimension, and the 5th level of density going up where it's just light, you know what I mean. And then there's the ascended masters reality as well, that isn't even about the light. It's complete darkness there. It's complete, that plane of existence is complete darkness, where the ascended masters only move on the sound spectrum, right? The ascended masters only move on the sound spectrum. And then after that, you have the Tao and God and such, that is the scalar longitudinal wave infinite plane of existence, of inertia, that gives all potential to existence, that's outside of even the ascended masters realm. And so, yeah, you have all these possibilities that are you, but your identity crisis has been critical in this reality that you think that you are this carbon-based body. You think with a Lunarian-based mindset, and you don't allow yourself to tap into the darkness of, going closer and closer to darkness, going closer and closer to sound right reasoning, where you are into that ascended masters type of mindset that goes beyond even light. You know what I mean? But you at least have to get to the 12th dimension where the unity is at. You know what I mean? Where you're tapped into your avatar state, like where you recognize that each level of density, you are there in a tank, in a sleep tank, projecting yourself into a lower density. So even from the sound spectrum of reality where the ascended masters are, they project themselves. They're in a cryo tank. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Cryo tank, a tank that projects themselves. And this tank isn't like a carbon-based machine, but it's a type of aura, at least, or a type of womb that projects itself into the light spectrum, the 13th, 14th, and 15th light spectrum base, the 3 solar rishi flames, that spectrum, and then that spectrum projects itself from that womb into the 9th, 10th, the 10th, 11th, and 12th density, that hydrothermoplasmic state of gravity, and that projects itself into the oversoul density, and that projects itself into the soul density, where the fourth, fifth, and sixth dimension is that right here, right? The fourth, fifth, and sixth dimension. And that projects itself probably from the oceans. Again, probably from the ocean is where our quote unquote soul is projecting itself into this spirit body. And the spirit body is lost in the 30 spirits that confuse us. You call those spirits jinn or ETs or demons and whatnot. It depends on your religious background and such. But in actuality, these are the spirits that give us the breath and give us the thoughts. So the breath and the thoughts are synonymous, and how we breathe is how we think. And so we breathe we breathe like lunarians. You have to breathe like a Solarian and have your full nervous system, your parasympathetic and your sympathetic nervous system fully breathing with you at all times to actually tap into the relaxed nervous system, the raw lux nervous system that allows you to breathe like a Solarian. In the Solarian culture, a type 1 civilization-based culture, and be utilizing black magic, black Heka. Remember that Egypt itself comes from the actual word Hekapatah. All right, the magic of the path. The magic of Ptah. Ptah is known as God, the pygmy god, that is known as the path to the the full spectrum, all the way up to God, the infinite plane of a scalar inertia. And so Ptah, that magic that Ptah has, and the magic of Heka, it will give you Hekupta, as the Greeks called it. Hekupta will eventually translate to Egypt. Hekupta, Hekapatah. All right. And so if we're tapping into our Kemetic magic, we're tapping into our Heka, and we're tapping into our Ptah, we're able to see the spectrums of the spells that have been casted upon the terrestrial mind and have blocked out the celestial mind. And it's pretty much just tapping into that celestial mind back on through our heart, through our fourth dimension, through our fourth chakra and such. And, being able to use all the systems ever utilized here on Earth, flip all the systems back into black magic systems. All of them. It's all about flipping all the systems back into black magic systems. And if we can't flip all the systems back into black magic systems, then there will still be white magic spells casted upon us. So I'm going to leave it there. We're at 33 minutes. So the time is multidimensional and it's celestial. Praises and cheers.